As fuels laboratory technicians, we are quality control when it comes to our jet fuel. Fuel has to go through our hands before it gets to our refueling units, before it even gets to our jets. So we have to make sure that the quality fuel that we get is always up to par.
As a lab technician, we have to run several tests after we get the fuel. We start off by running our bottle method or particulate test, which basically tests for any particulates that may be in the fuel.
So we want to ensure that there are no solid pieces within it, rust, any type of things that do not belong in our precious fuel.
We then run our flashpoint test. It's basically testing for at what temperature our fuel will ignite momentarily and long enough to create a spark.
We want to make sure that it does flash at 100 degrees because that in particular is when the engines heat up to that temperature, so propulsion can actually happen.
Our fizzy test stands for Fuel System Icing Inhibitor, which is basically, it keeps the water in the fuel from freezing.
We want to make sure that the jet fuel doesn't freeze over. When you increase altitude, it may be seen as testing the water within the fuel, but you're testing the fuel itself to make sure that it does not freeze.
And then after we run that test, we have to run our conductivity test, which is testing for the amount of static dissipation in our fuel.
The reason why that we don't want static electricity that's outside of our range is because it can cause different types of reactions to happen, causing a chain reaction for the jet fuel to not operate properly.
Our final test is our aquablow test, which tests for the amount of water that is located inside of our fuel. What the machine uses is it uses blue light on a fluorescent test pad to show us exactly how much water is in our fuel.
However, we do have to take note for trend analysis the amount of water that is present within the fuel and make sure that it's still at an adequate amount that it doesn't affect any of the rest of our tests.
And then after we run all of our tests, we would then take all of that information that we have written down from our test results, and we would bring it back into our lab office and input the information on our computer. We use that information for trend analysis to make sure that everything's trending positively.
So we want to make sure that, the people who are training on base here are safe, and we want to make sure that those who are working on jets and around jet fuel are also in safe working conditions. Well, the next time that you see a fuels laboratory technician, you'll no longer have to say, "Who the hell?"
We just pump gas, glorified gas station attendants. It's a lot more than that. Personally, POL as a whole, I think, is one of the most important jobs because you can't fly an aircraft without fuel, and you also can't fly an aircraft if you don't have air. Our job entails issuing cryogenic fluid, liquid oxygen to the carts here, and fuel to our refuelers. After crew chiefs issue the fluid from the carts to the aircraft, they bring them back here to be filled. Typical day is about anywhere from 2 to 6 carts. Usually we pull them up here and we issue from our 6,000 gallon cryotainer. We issue liquid oxygen from that to the carts. Being a senior airman running a major section of fuels operations, it's a big responsibility. We're alone out here when it comes to issuing fuel and moving cryogenic fluid. We take a sample, and if that passes and everything's good, we write up the paperwork and push them back out, ready to service again. Sense of accomplishment to me is seeing these aircraft take off, come back. I know they're taking off because of what we've done here, what we've provided them, and knowing that the mission is successful because of us.
My name is Airman First Class Matthew Henry, and I am an Aircraft Fuels Distribution Specialist. We are one of the main 4 groups that make an aircraft be able to go anywhere in a moment's notice and carry cargo, people, weapons, anywhere in the world that it needs to go. So it's all about mission readiness. We distribute fuel. You can learn lab. There is also cryogenics. Cryogenics is very fun. It's very dangerous, but it's definitely fun. But fuels distribution is my favorite because you can drive a truck out to the flight line and see the effort and all the work you put into make that fuel go on the aircraft and make sure it's the most safe and efficient fuel You get to see firsthand the aircraft that you are fueling, and you get to see it, go to different countries and serve in other missions.
So simply put, POL stands for Petroleum, Oil, and Lubricants, but we're the fuel guys. We make sure that the pilots have the fuel to fly. So that's big picture, what most people probably think of when they think of fuels, but there's other things to that too. We have a section for lab to make sure that the quality of the fuel is meeting the Air Force standards and it's safe. There's cryogenics, making sure liquid oxygen if the planes need that so the pilots can breathe and the passengers. And then just maintaining our facilities and our trucks to make sure everything's good. And if we see a problem, we catch it quick to get it taken care of. And then also accounting, making sure that we can account for all the petroleum products coming in and out. Jet fuel, diesel too.
We're retraining on new aircrafts, new systems that we don't have at Mansfield at the 179th. They have some R-11s and other aircrafts that we've never seen. So it's really helping us to forward our career for when we will deploy.
Just knowing that you play a role, your small efforts, all together, it makes a big difference. And so yes, we fuel aircraft, but then also we help out with other missions as far as if there's diesel runs, filling forklifts, there's other career fields that we play a role in, and just seeing how that's connected and how everybody's efforts together, everybody's essential to the mission. So it's awesome to think that we do play a part and everybody is important. So when I think about that, that makes me feel really great and it's rewarding.